Welcome to Grown Man Chopping It Up. It's your boy J.R. Rada, and I'm here with my ace.
Carrie, I say Carrie with a K. This is a safe place for grown-ups to have a grown-up after dark talk.
We'll give you a second to tuck the kids into bed, because this is 21 and no. 21 and no. Okay, let's get to it.
This is Carrie with a K. Today's episode is brought to you by girls that never want to go anywhere but don't have anything better to do. How stupid is that? And Toe Jam. There's no jam like Toe Jam. You get Mo Jam with Toe Jam.
Boy, you crazy, man.
Man, we just keep getting sponsors. I don't know. They love us.
Another podcast.
That's right. I'm feeling good. I'm all refreshed.
Yes, sir. Man, hell of a week so far.
Yeah, and it's not even over.
Yeah. Let's jump right into this. So, what I wanted to talk about is money in relationships.
Oh man, hide your money.
How important is it for who pays for things? Like some people still are on traditional hype where, you know, the man has to pay for everything, or but in today's society, do you think that's still relevant? Like, if
not in the Bay Area, it's not. You need two incomes messing around this place.
True. Yeah, and as prices rise, house price rise, you know, food, everything rises. I don't think it's no more the stay-at-home mom type of situation. But in dating, if you go out with a person and you are always footing the bill, do you think that put a strain on relationships?
In dating, it might, depending on how much money you make and how the female's living.
Okay.
You know, if she's living, let's say she got Section 8. You know, she got, you know, her little ride, her little car, and she get a little money. That might be comfortable for her. And if you're moving into that situation, only thing you could add to it is something greater.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
I'm trying to follow you.
You know, if her rent's $57, you know what I'm saying? That's an ideal situation. You know?
$57, that's some cheap rent.
Right, because you're going from your rent being $2,000 to $57, paying up her rent for the year.
You winning.
I am winning. I love that girl.
I think that when people, when do you think people in relationships should start splitting the bills?
I think after you establish that we're going to be together and you establish what the budget's going to be, then, you know, there's some things that you can split. Like, I think traditionally the man pays the rent.
Okay.
And the woman pays cable, PG&E, things like that. That seemed to work for me.
But what if your girl's making, you know, $150,000?
Right, she's cheating you out of that.
Her money is her money and your money's her money?
That's the bad part. What's yours is mine, what's mine is mine. That's hard.
That's what I'm saying. So what advice can we give to men or women if you're in a relationship and you're pulling, paying most of the bills,
right,
and the other person isn't? You keep going out on dates and he or she never reaches for her purse.
That's just disrespectful.
Like, what do you do? What's the advice? Guys, let's give the guys advice first.
He's going to need a long talk with her that he's not cheap.
Okay.
But that he wants her to put in sometimes. Like, if she suggests they go out to dinner, then she should pay for it.
Okay.
Or if it's his suggestion, then he should pay for it.
So the guy's advice we want to give him is, hey, sit her down, talk to her. I'm not being cheap, but you all in my pockets.
Yeah.
And I want you to share some of this burden.
All right, there's stuff that I want to buy too. You need to give my pockets a rest.
Okay, so now for the women, you're dating a dude. He doesn't have much money. You're paying for everything. How do you tell him that you need him to step up?
That is hard to have to tell a man that he needs to step up. That's the bad part.
I say, how would you want a woman to tell you that you need to step up? Okay, I think she should be naked. I think she should have bacon
on her body.
just in her hand on a plate.
Like how many pieces?
3. I think she should hand me one of the pieces of bacon.
Wow. You say a word after each one.
And say, hey, you know, things is tight. You know, I need you to, you know, then start rubbing my shoulders.
Right. I realize you bring in the bacon.
Yeah, bring in some of the bacon, and I want some help, you know. Or, you know, if you're in a situation and you're the person with the least money, I feel like maybe you can do some things, because it's always not about money. Sometimes it's about effort. So if you're the person who has less money, maybe you can do some things that's creative, that's better than money.
Yeah.
So maybe you can plan a picnic.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, you know, just do stuff that don't cost anything, but it shows effort. And so effort sometimes is better than money.
Yeah, I've been in situations where I was the breadwinner and my ex didn't work at all, but the deal was that if I pay all the bills, that she takes care of the house and the kids.
Yeah.
And it worked for a couple of years, but after a while, you know, I don't know what it was. Boredom set in. Her friends are having more fun than she is, that kind of thing. Right. And so she grew to resent me, which I was like, wait a minute, you know, I don't think that's fair that I get resented for doing the right thing.
I think that's a California thing, though, because women are used to doing everything on their own. That if a man comes in who, you know, has a strong personality or is a natural leader and tries to lead, sometimes women cut that off because they're just not used to it.
Yeah.
So that's, hey, we got to write that down for another podcast. We'll go into leadership.
Oh, wow. Because traditionally, the woman's supposed to be the helpmate.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the one that, you know, I mean, if we're going biblical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
All right. So the next thing I want to get into is, you know, I don't have my note here. I seem to have lost it. What happens when a man has a baby on you and you're in a relationship?
Bullets?
Get your brother to beat him up.
Somebody getting shanked?
Because it seems to happen a lot. So I think women need to know what makes a man not only pursue another relationship, but also pursue one without protection, and she's supposed to accept it.
I don't know. You might be on the fence on this one. What happens, and just how do you forgive a person if that happens?
Wow.
Because if it's reversed, you definitely couldn't forgive the person. You're with your girl, and she come home.
Wow.
And, you know, she tells you, hey, babe, I'm 4 months pregnant.
See, she's got an innie. I can't forgive her. Because I've got an Audi, and it just seems like it's more different than the person having the innie than the Audi, you know.
So I think that kind of goes back to the whole shortage of men situation. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think Beyonce put it in a song where, like, women are bred to be the softer person and the more forgiving and the heart and the soul of a relationship. So they're more forgiving and tend to put up with more.
Yeah, accept it. Yeah. And that's to a fault, because you realize even in really bad arguments, there are things that you could say that's gonna make her stop arguing with you. Because like, they want to believe.
Shut up or I'm going to choke you.
Like the joke, what do you tell a girl with 2 black eyes? Nothing, because I told her twice.
Right. So in an argument, you can say some stuff that makes her not want to, because like you kind of explained away whatever.
Yeah, because they want to believe. They just want a reason to believe what you're saying.
Okay.
If it's rational, you know, hey, they wrap their head around it and believe it.
Right, yeah, there was that, I think I seen it on Facebook, and everybody was going in on them. But it was one of the Mary sisters or something? Husband cheated and with all these different girls.
I saw the preview.
And she you know, worked through her marriage or whatever. Yeah. But she said, I didn't read the article, but it said the headline was, what did I do to make my husband cheat or whatever. So basically, I think what she was doing was taking her own responsibility in it. And I think that's the same thing with women who, when guys have babies outside of the relationships and they accept it, I think some women know that they didn't do X, Y, Z, because we all know that a lot of times we had a joke that we used to say in the locker room at work was nobody's ever got married and their wife lost weight.
Wait a minute. You guys are mean. Honey, you're down 20 pounds.
Right. Oh, God, you look amazing.
They don't lose weight until they leave you.
Right. So, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, that's just a generalization.
That's hella funny, though.
We're going to get a bunch of hate mail because of that. But,
sure they send them to you.
What it kind of was saying was, a lot of times that people get in relationships are marriages and they don't do the things that they did to keep the person.
Yeah.
And so, I think sometimes people recognize that, and if he has a good reason why you wasn't rubbing my back, giving me crab legs no more, and Tina got her pregnant. Oops, because Dwayne Wade wasn't he on a break from his girl and got somebody pregnant?
And Ludacris
was on a break from his girl and got somebody pregnant.
Wow.
So I mean,
maybe they had permission.
But like why shoot the club up?
Yeah. Maybe that's the ultimate way to get rid of the chick. Like if she keeps hanging around you and stuff, you be like, look, I can't tell her to leave me alone. I'm gonna go have a baby on her. That'll get her to leave.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Just dumb. I don't get it.
The rationale is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just, more broken homes, which completes the cycle.
Yeah, because I got a guy right now that's mad as heck at work. He's like, there's this girl that I was just messing with, and she got pregnant. I mean, I got a girl, but she got pregnant. I'm mad at her, right? And they want $900 a month. I said, dude, all you got to do is spend time with the child. I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, you gonna pay $900 for
that story is, so we have to do a whole podcast on that. Yeah. But that story is like one of the dumbest stories that I've always hear from dudes or I always hear from girls is about how they feel like the other person did something to them. It's like sex education was in the 4th grade. Like if you put the ding ding into the cooch cooch and it goes squeak squeak, baby happens. Yeah. That's what they teach you, And people act like they just really forget that.
Like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And you can get pregnant from pre-com.
And in this era of AIDS, I mean, one, you don't like the girl. You don't like the dude. You don't want a baby with him. But you had sex with him unprotected.
Unprotected. More than once.
So, I mean, the problem goes a little bit further. But then, does that go back to education?
Yeah, education. And actually, the other thing is timing. Like when you're dealing with birth control and things like that, you have to discuss it beforehand and have it ready when it's time to have sex. Because I realize that sometimes you're what they call the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And you got a condom in your pocket. But as men, we know how it feels with the condom. We know how it feels after. So it's like, a lot of times the dude will be like, well, if she going to let me go raw, I'm going.
Right.
And then, he'll be like, okay, well, I'm just going to pull out. But that's not effective because
my pull-out game is immaculate.
Pulling out don't work because pre-cum is 80% sperm.
Man. Maybe we're going to school some people today. Hey, let's break it down. Don't have sex with somebody you don't like.
Yeah. Don't lay down with somebody that you don't want to be with, that you don't want to have children with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know it in your profession, you see it all the time.
Wow.
From, these young people who make this mistake. And, children are a blessing.
Yeah, and they're very young, too. They're making the mistake younger and younger. And also, one of the problems is mothers nowadays aren't like the mothers that we had and the mothers before that. These mothers don't mind having young kids have babies. I mean, girls like 14-year-old mother accepts it. Like, oh, my baby's having a baby. I'm so happy. No, I'm not happy.
Well, the mom is 28.
The grandma's 35.
The grandma's 35. The great-grandma is 45.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
So... It's
hard. It's hard, but we can have a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that. What I want to flip into is something I want to call Sex Lab.
SexLab.
Sex
Like the laboratory.
Lab. We gotta get some extra music for these. So Sex Lab, and it goes.
It's alive.
It's alive. So Sex Lab. This is a concept that I've been thinking about. I was at work and I was walking around, and I was like, you know what? I think people should have sex labs. And so what I mean by sex lab is with your partner, just have a whole day of exploring.
Wow.
So you're gonna treat it like a laboratory.
Yeah.
You're gonna do different tests and do different things. Just clear your whole day.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You just roll her in some flour and find a wet spot.
Yeah, roll her in some flour. But you know what? Do everything you can think of to find how she orgasms.
Yeah.
Just tell her, you know what? This part of Sex Lab, these next 4 hours are all about you. Everything I do in this Sex Lab is going to be in order to make you reach as many orgasms as you can take.
That's valuable.
Right? So you just sit there and you rub her. You rub her in different ways. And you find out what she likes. Okay. You know what? Get a pen and pad. Write that down.
Yeah.
You know, touch her in different areas, all over her body. Rub her ears, rub her nose, rub her eyelids.
Why not?
And just really figure out from head to toe everything that can make her orgasm. G-spot. Find it. Explore it. You know.
That's valuable.
Send a probe.
Or you can use a probe.
Go where no man has gone before. Find out what works in bed. Find out how do you trigger her internal orgasm. Now that's a word that a lot of people might not understand what that means.
Yeah.
But that's something that you can figure out. And make 4 hours all about her.
Yeah, why not?
Then the next 4 hours, all about you.
It only takes you 4 minutes.
But let her learn everything about you. Most women do not know that men are just as physically sensitive as women are.
Right.
Most women don't know that men love to be rubbed all over their body.
Yeah. They don't know that.
They have no clue about that. That rubbing their ankles and rubbing their legs and rubbing the knees and kissing behind the knee.
Love it.
We like shit like that. You know, how will you know that? This is I'm trying to teach y'all something today.
We're trying to take you down.
We're going to help somebody. So that's what I like to call the Sex Lab.
Sex Lab. We coined the phrase.
I might make some shirts.
Have you had your Sex Lab?
Have you been to Sex Lab? These things like this is what can save a relationship. Now let's take our visitors on a tour right now. It's all right. It's Saturday morning.
That's right.
You show up. You got the car gassed up.
It's all full of gas.
Full of gas. You rolling down the highway. You find a seaside hotel. You check in.
See.
You sit the man down. You rub him from head to toe.
Whoa.
You tell him it's a sex lab. I mean, what man would want to turn this down?
None of them.
We don't understand stuff like
He's
this.
not gonna have a baby on you if you give him a Sex Lab.
Hey, you want to stop your man from cheating on you? Let him know that this is a sex lab, and there's more sex labs to come.
Wow.
I mean, it'll blow the average dude's mind. This will blow the average woman's mind.
Yeah.
That you would take this amount of time to learn their body.
Yeah.
So, that's my...
It's perfect. Take heed to that.
Hey, we trying to help somebody today, man.
You know, hopefully they'll write in and say how much we've helped.
Yeah, you know, there'll probably be some people who make positive babies from two people who want the baby.
We had a baby every Sex Lab we had.
The baby be named Sex Lab.
Love it. Okay, now the next thing I want to get into is, I'm trying to educate you ladies because sometimes you don't know what goes through a man's mind.
Okay.
So these are a few thoughts that go through a man's mind the first time he sleeps next to you.
Uh-oh.
The first time, not like, a few times in, but the very first time you either spend the night at his house or he's spending the night at your house and y'all, may or may not have sex.
Where's my keys? Who is this?
Did I put my wallet in my shoe?
This This ain't Tina.
And that's the funniest part, though. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you with a new girl, and you open your eyes and the room ain't your room, and you go, oh shit, where am I? Who's that girl next to me?
Do you pull the sheet back and look at her toes like Eddie Murphy did?
Nah,
Boomerang?
I don't care nothing about no toes.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But all right, let's get back on point.
One of the thoughts is, number one, why is she on my side?
My side of the bed.
Because everybody has a favorite side of the bed.
Right.
And if you think about it, sex normally occurs, if you're good, in the middle of the bed.
Okay.
That's strategic because that's where the wet spot ends up being.
Huh.
If you have it on the left side or the right side, one of y'all got to sleep in the wet spot. And the wet spot be cold in the middle of the night.
Right.
Sticking to your leg or your back.
Right. I always try to go on their side.
Right.
So then I can roll over on my dry side.
You give her a blanket and be like, look,
You'll be all right.
hey, take that towel, you dry it off.
Yeah, work with that.
Yeah, like, why is she on my side? Now, if you sleep on my side, you spend the night at my house, I don't have a comfortable sleep at all.
Right.
Because I'm on the opposite side of the bed. If I'm sleeping by the door, that means the guy that busted in gonna kill me first.
Right. We don't.
I want him to kill you first.
Right. Give me time to get away.
Right. I'm gonna throw the girl at him.
So number one is why is she on my side of the bed? So women, advice: ask the guy which side of the bed he prefers.
Wow, that might be too much to ask for some women.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care. I want this side.
Yeah.
Because she wants to go through your drawers anyway while you sleep.
Oh, and your medicine cabinet. Funny.
Definitely medicine. Find your crazy meds.
Your psych meds. Okay. 2.
Number 2 is, why aren't we cuddling? Now, some guys do like to cuddle.
Okay.
If you're an attractive woman. If you ugly, I don't want you nowhere near me.
Why is she in your bed if she's ugly?
Because she had a nice body. I'm a guy. If she had a banging body and she ugly in the face, of course I hit it.
But you don't want to hold ugly.
Now I don't want to convince her to stay. I don't want her to stick around if she ugly. I just want to hit it and have her forget me tomorrow.
So mean.
That's why I'm not single. But some guys like to cuddle. Sleep on my arm. I call it the pit. I could put my woman to sleep in the pit. Because I wear deodorant and things, so my underarms ain't funky.
All right, so you call it the pit.
I call it the pit.
So cuddling. Why are we not cuddling?
Right, cuddling is good. Unless it's hot.
You're against hot cuddling.
Yeah, if it's hot, it's bothering the heck out of me because I gotta sleep with a fan on anyway. So if you all up on me and it's hot, I'm mad at you now. I want you to leave.
That's the quickest way to get the exit.
You crossed the line, you gotta go. What you about to do?
You'll be more comfortable at your house.
Call me when you get there. Number 3 is, what if I talk in my sleep? I've been guilty of talking in my sleep a time or two.
What? Dry snitching?
Yeah, on yourself, right? But now I tend to do more cinematic dreaming, so it might be a scream or I'm shooting at the Viet Cong or somebody. It's not necessarily, oh, Becky, your thighs are so huge. It's nothing like that anymore.
Right. It's funny shit.
So, some guys are concerned with talking in their sleep.
Okay.
Number 4 is she still breathing? Because some people sleep too quiet. Some women sleep very quietly. And you got to put a mirror up under their nose when you beat and knocked it out. You know what I'm saying? When you turn in that stellar performance, you don't know if she survived it. So you think, is she still breathing? How am I going to explain this to her mom?
Oh my God. Okay.
The last one is, are we going to do it again in the morning? Because if it was good, you want a round 2 or 3 or whatever it was. You want to send her to work with a smile.
Oh,
If it was bad, you want to leave before she wakes up. So those are my 5 thoughts that go through a man's head the first time he sleeps next to you.
I'm sorry, I'm still with the
Is she still breathing?
Is she still breathing? Hey, do you want to let's do the let's do the letter.
All right, this
from gmail.com.
This letter is from Kiana. Kiana, are you still breathing?
I'm sorry. Okay.
She says, my name is Kiana from Miami, Florida. My man and I have been married for 6 years, and we are still madly in love. My only issue, that's you saying something right there. My only issue is that he has become twice the size he was when we met. I'm concerned about health risks mainly, but also the fact that he isn't as sexy to me as he was before. How do I approach this subject with him?
When he asks for breakfast, you bring a can of Slim Fast.
Or you shake your head vigorously. No. No breakfast.
No
soup for you.
No more food. Twice the size. God.
He's a big boy. It's a testament to her cooking.
Right. Yeah, and so sometimes that's the case too. If you're in charge of the groceries and you go and you buy all the ho-hos and the Cocos and the and then you wonder why people are gaining weight. Most people gain weight in relationships for a couple reasons. A, you go out to eat more.
Oh yeah.
So I remember a friend of mine, his wife, he came to me complaining one day. He was like, "Man, my wife is almost 2 sizes of where she used to be." And I was like, "Well, it's your fault." And he was like, "Why you say that?" I said, "Every time you call me, you tell me you at Nations picking up a double bacon burger and a pie."
Right. Oh yeah, that pie.
And I'm like, you doing it. So my advice, okay, come on, let's help this girl out.
She's creating a monster.
Hey, hide the ho-hos. No.
You gotta raid his snack cabinet because he's got one.
Yeah. So we have to, A, you have to get active. B, you have to cut your calories. C, you have to hide the ho-hos.
Because he loves them ho-hos. He's in love with the ho-hos.
So yeah, you got to have a plan. You got to talk about it, especially for the health reasons. Obesity is like super ridiculously high right now.
Yeah, high blood pressure, all that.
And you're not finding them sexy. That's you got to find an angle to come at them about it.
Yeah, going to work out together, stuff like that. That'd be valuable.
And you can trick people into working out sometimes in relationships.
Like say you get on top?
Yeah. True. Or when you go to the supermarket, park far away.
And don't get a basket? Make him carry all that shit.
And then when he's bringing the groceries, be like, "Babe, I bet you can't carry 17 bags." And men, we,
competitive by nature.
we kill ourselves over some competitive.
See, I got them all. One bag around his head.
You can do little things like that. You can cook healthy. You can slowly start to, introduce healthy items.
Yeah, stop using ground beef, use turkey.
Yeah. If you have Taco Tuesdays, use ground turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Just do subtle changes with the regular food that you're eating. And then don't just go from 0 to 60 because then people regret it. So don't go from eating steaks and then hand them a green smoothie.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
That's too much of a change. But you can, do oatmeal or something light for breakfast, still have the steak or whatever for lunch, but dinner, eat something really light.
Yeah.
That way the person still got their little steak fix, but they didn't just go crazy about it.
Yeah, don't put a picture of Rick Fox on the fridge. It's like, this is where I want you to be.
Or you could look through the photo. I'm like, ooh, you were so cute when you were this size.
Look at you. You were so small.
Hey, but I got another crazy story about something like that. Oh, wait, let's stay on her. So what else can we do? What else can she do?
Well, we've named all the things she can do. Eating a little more healthy gradually and working out with them. Mm-hmm.
Make working out fun.
Yeah.
What's some fun workout things? Oh, like I don't know where you live at, Florida. I don't know, but how like they have the boats where you can
paddle boats.
You paddle boats.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a nice day, you could do something like that. That's a good cardio workout, and the person don't realize you're making them work out.
Mm-hmm.
You could go places where there's like, beautiful scenery. Oh, let's go to the beach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Miami's got beaches. Yeah.
And walk the beach.
Buy some bikes.
Buy some bikes. Cheat on them.
with a smaller guy. Make him chase that nigga.
Right. You could call the police and say that he has guns and dope. They only get little meals in jail, right?
He'll be working out there. Running away from Ricardo.
So I don't know. I think that's all the help we can give her.
Yeah.
Work out. Twice the size.
Yeah, twice the size. That's a big dude. He's like he grew another dude.
Yeah, I hope he's not listening. Come beat us up.
He looked like he ate the dude that he was.
So hey, Ryder's rant today. My rant today is kind of like a kind of specific rant. It's about the word vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
And being vulnerable in relationships. So a lot of times when people hear that word, especially women, when they hear vulnerable or when men hear vulnerable, they see it as like a sign of weakness. I think that more people need to open themselves up to be vulnerable because that just means that you are allowing yourself open to be hurt or not be. But if you're not vulnerable, you're not open to receive anything. So what I've noticed is that a lot of people, females, male, and people call in the show, write in, or people talk to us, and it's always this toughness.
Yeah.
And I think this toughness makes you not able to be open. So even when you just look at the word vulnerable, if you're talking to somebody in a relationship and they're not going so good and I say, hey, you should be more vulnerable, they freeze up. Because
what do you mean?
Yeah, they see it. Oh, I don't want to be soft or weakness. I don't think being vulnerable is soft or weak. I actually think it's the opposite of that.
Strengthen that.
I think there's a lot of strength in actually opening yourself up to be vulnerable. When I was looking at this post, and it was like one person said, what does vulnerable mean? This person said to be fragile, easily broken, open to all types of attack, physically and mental.
Oh.
And I'm like,
that sounds bad.
Yeah. And then one is it meant to be at risk, to be in a sensitive situation. And then somebody else, this was crazy. This person said, it means to be at risk. The only way to avoid risk is to be dead.
Oh my goodness.
This other one says your guard is down. You may need help from another person. You're easily persuaded to do something. That's not what vulnerable means.
Yeah, that's a terrible explanation for it.
You're in a low state of mind, and you will be easily convinced to do something that you normally wouldn't do. That's not vulnerable. No. That's dumb. And that's what I'm saying. People, I think people get the word mixed up, and because they have the word mixed up, you can't be something that you don't understand.
Right.
I think if you're vulnerable, that means you open it up. Yeah, you're open up to attack, but that doesn't mean you have to let the attack, take place. Yeah. You're open for it. Since you're open for it, but you're also open to the other side of it. You're open to the possibility of the good it can be.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, people in relationships, guys, girls, get to a point where you're able to be vulnerable. If you can't be vulnerable, then do not step into a situation.
Right.
Because you will not get the best out of that situation because you're only open to a part of it. So if you're not vulnerable, that means you're indefensible, undestructible.
Right. Yeah. And you can't be that.
You can't be.
Because even though you may think you're not vulnerable, there's something vulnerable about you.
Yes. There is. Everybody has a chink in their armor. But if you have no armor on, that doesn't mean you're soft.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson didn't have no armor on, but he'd knock your head off. But I'm just saying, if you don't have that armor on, that doesn't show a sign of weakness.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the story of David and Goliath. I think that was the underlying meaning of the story more than the actual story, was that this guy didn't have all the armor. This guy didn't have he wasn't big. He wasn't strong. He had a bow and a slingshot or whatever the heck he had.
Slingshot and a rock.
Yeah, and he threw it at a giant, and he won. So I think the moral of that story, what I take from stories like that, isn't the actual story,
right?
But I think it's more of
a
moral of it. Like, have faith in yourself. Yeah. Be open. Be ready.
Like the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Right. That wasn't what. Yeah, but that's true though, because if you even look at it in relationships, you think back to the people you thought had it the most together as girls or dudes, and you looked at them and you thought this person got it going on.
Yeah.
And then you get to know them. This person fucked up. Or you
all is a pretty face.
Right. Or you date them, or that girl that you've been chasing for so long, and you're like, no, she's everything I want. She got this, she got that, she did. And then you get to know them, and they got the low self-esteem.
Yeah, and bad breath from credit stinks.
6 kids by 7. Or the dude, you see him, he's swagged out. Car look like this, clothes look like this, and then you get to know him and be like, he hella insecure.
Yeah, and he sniffs coke.
But it just shows you that these facades and stuff, it's not real. Once you get to what's real, is what's important. And I think vulnerability, or being vulnerable, is the way that you have to be. Do not step into anything unless you're open to be vulnerable.
Right on.
That's my rant for today. So, hey, I think we can pretty much put this one in the oven.
That's right. Cook it. It's done.
Hey, so until next time, y'all. We out. We out. So that concludes our show tonight. We know there's a lot of podcasts you could be listening to.
And should be listening to.
So we thank you for riding with us. I'm J.R. Ryder.
And I'm Carrie with a K. Make sure you look us up on Facebook or Instagram, or get at us on grownmenchoppingitup@gmail.com. That's spelled out GROWNMENCHOPPINGITUP. And remember, everybody kneeling ain't praying.
Peace.